Okay, so let me share the screen. So you're able to see the slide now? The presentation slide? Okay.
Yeah, visible.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you can all go on mute. So what I'll do is, if you have any questions, just in between, no, you just note it down in your notepad or something. So in the end, we can take the questions. Otherwise, it'll disturb the flow of the session. Okay. So I begin. Oh, somebody is. So if somebody is asking for joining the session, no, just say you can admit them inside. Okay. So actually, in fact, this is the first course I am starting, and I don't have much teaching experience, but still, with the knowledge, I thought, let me share and spread the knowledge. So, with gratitude to all my gurus who are direct as well as indirect. So, I welcome you all to this course on modern Vastu. So, just of all my gurus. So, these are all in the this portion. No, these are all more of uh, the evolved souls who have guided lots of people. And these are all my gurus from different walks, from Vastu, from pranic healing to numerology. Astrology also I've learned multiple fields, KP astrology, DNA astrology, Vedic astrology. Lal Kitab, partially I've learned because it's a longer journey. It takes more time. But the basics I've learned, Lal Kitab also. Then crystal healing, Prishtaj therapy, then mobile numerology, then Devta Vastu. So many fields. So I thought I'll begin with Vastu first because that was the first science I learned. Because when I was about to construct my house, right? So it was on a T junction, and people used to scare us saying that, oh, you should not build house on a T junction, and all that. So I started exploring because when I thought, let me sell this and buy a different house or something, no, it was not available. Basically, the if you look at the cost and other things, it was not workable. Then finally, I thought, okay, no other option. I have to build it here. So then I thought, let me explore on these Vastu and other aspects. So that is how I got into Vastu. Thereafter, I just parallelly got into different fields, astrology, because every field has a limitation, right? Uh, so uh, now after learning so many different fields, I understand that no branch is complete in itself. So everything has a pros and cons and limitations. So if you have multiple knowledge, right, so you will be able to juggle and find a solution. So that is the approach. So first and foremost question, how does Vastu work? So directly getting into the basics of Vastu, like what is the direction, the energies and all that. So first we must understand how the Vastu is working on a human. So that is how what I've done is I've tried to explain the dynamics, the energy dynamics of a human. Then I've tried to explain the energy dynamics of a living space. Then how these two interact. Okay. Okay. So if you look at our classical knowledge, right? So it comes from Ayurveda, where they talk of three doshas, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So again, the building blocks of all these are 5 elements. So I think most of this knowledge might be it's a repetition to you all, since you all know about all these elements: water, earth, space, air, fire, Jal, Bhumi, Gagan, Vayu, Agni. So all these you already know, but then since I'm building the foundation of the course, so it is important because some people might not have got into all these basics. So it is imperative to understand all these fundamental blocks. Okay. So in Ayurveda, they talk more about Vata, Pitta, Kapha. It's a constitution of the body. So what they say is if Pitta increases, it creates certain kind of problem in the body. Or if Vata increases, it creates some problem in the body. Kapha, if it increases, it creates certain type of problems. So again, this Vata, Pitta, Kapha is, though it is Tridoshas, it is again a combination of these 5 elements. For example, Pitta is just fire alone. Vata is a combination of space plus air, Vayu and Gagan. So these two combine together to form Vata. and kapha is a combination of water and earth. So to summarize, it is all about 5 elements. Okay. So before, after the 5 elements, right? So these 5 elements together form the building blocks of whether it is a cell or a molecule or a human or a plant, anything. So everything is built by these 5 elements. So apart from these 5 elements, our body also has panchakoshas. So we say different layers. Okay. So the first layer is Annamaya Kosha, nothing but our physical body. So which is formed by consuming food. So there is some intelligence in the cells. So this intelligence keep on accumulating the food or nutrition what we eat, and it grows based on its intelligence. So this is the physical body. Okay, so next is the pranamaya kosha. So when you say pranamaya kosha, it is little complex because this involves the life force. So I'll skip to the next slide and come back to this. So in the vital force, if you look at our Vedas and all these yogic schools, so they talk more about these nadis. So what they say is the prana shakti, it is flowing in the nadis. So here they talk about 72,000 nadis, and some texts also refer up to 3.5 lakh nadis. Okay, but of these 72,000 nadis, which is spread across the entire human body, only 3 are the major nadis. So the Ida, Pingala, and the Sushumna nadi. So one is the left nadi and the right nadi, or the negative nadi and the positive nadi. Sushumna is a intermediate. So the energy flows in this nadi only when it is shifting from left to right, or positive to negative, or negative to positive. So whenever it is shifting, no, it starts flowing in this nadi, and this flow is for a very small fraction of time, maybe half a second or maybe up to 1 minute. And if somebody is in a deep meditative state, maybe it could be much larger also. Okay. So also there is one more thing which we don't know. Even the medical science doesn't know that the nadi shifting, right? So if you try to, I don't know if you're seeing my face here in the camera, no, right? It is, okay, let me try to. Because I also wanted to show. Just a minute. Sorry. Spotlight. Now I'll share the screen. Am I visible in this? No, right? I don't know here how. Okay, so if you just keep your hand like this and try to breathe out, right? So it flows in only one nadi. So after about 72 minutes, that is approximate actually, 1 hour, 12 minutes, it will shift to the left. So you just try this. So whenever you're seeing, whenever the right nadi is active, it is called the positive nadi or the sun nadi. And whenever the air is, you are breathing more through the left, no, it is called the moon nadi or the chandra nadi. Okay, so this shifting happens every 72 minutes. And if the shifting is not happening properly, that means there is something wrong with your body, the energy of your body, right? So many people who generally have this lot of heat problems. So there for them, most of the time, the sun nadi will be more active. And the people who has this cold related issues, right? Cold, a lot of congestion. So they will have a lot of left nadi active. So whenever they see, right, the left will be more active and it will not be shifting. So yoga classes, right? So they teach you all this, how to check and how to. And also there is a branch called Swara Yoga, completely based on this Swara Yoga. No, they do everything. Even decision making is done through Swara Yoga. Like if they want to take a decision, so you ask a question: do you want to enroll for this course? So they just check the nadi. If it is Chandra nadi, they say yes, I'm willing to join. So that means it is so precise knowledge that they use this for even decision making, even to take care of the health, and they also know how to shift nadis. Suppose your right nadi is active, so and you want to shift it to left nadi. So all you have to do is you have to sleep on the opposite side. So you tilt towards the right side. Within a fraction of 30 seconds to 1 minute, the breathing will shift to left. Also, what they say is when you're sleeping, right, always you have to sleep towards your left so that your sun nadi must be active. And when you're in the daytime, no, so you have to try to keep the moon nadi active most of the times because that cooling and heating cycle of the sun, right? So this controls that cycle. Okay, so I'll get back to the slides. Okay, so these three nadis, all the energies are flowing through these nadis and it is getting distributed to all these 72,000 nadis. This is nothing but if you see a human body and the nervous system, right, or the veins. So wherever it is going, the nadis, the energy flow is also there along that. Okay. Okay, so what you saw here, right? All these intersection points, when Ida and Pingala, it forms a junction. So all these junctions are called chakras. So all these junctions where these two nadis intersect are called chakras. Okay. So these are the chakras in the human body. So actually there are 114 chakras, out of which these 7 are major chakras. So if in different parts of the body, right, there are different. So these 7 are distributing the energy to the relevant chakras. So the one on the left, right? So this is a more comprehensive image of a chakra system. So this is by the pranic healing school. So what they say is, see, all these chakras are there, right? In the front, there is one set of vortex. Vortex is nothing but an English term for chakra. So chakra is more of a Vedic term. So we call it energy vortex in English. So this crown chakra is where the cosmic energy or the divine energy enters the body. So these, when you say heart chakra, they say there are two, one the front and the back. Similarly, front solar plexus, back solar plexus. Then they also say that there are spleen chakras because spleen is an organ which controls the energy in the body because it sends signal to the pancreas and then it regulates the sugar, right? So this spleen chakra is responsible for the health of spleen. Then they say there is a Mengmen chakra, mostly related to kidneys. Then the navel chakra, the sacral chakra, basic chakras. So these below the throat, whatever you're seeing below the throat, right? These are all more connected to 5 elements. Like the root is earth element, the swadhisthana is the water element, this is the fire element, this is the air element, and this is the space element. So the upper chakras are more, it is connecting to the higher realms, whether it is intuition or connecting to the divine and all that. Okay, so now how we will see how this connecting to the panchakoshas, the ones which we saw early, right? Okay, so now here between the pranamaya kosha and the manonmaya kosha, so pranamaya kosha up to that five chakras, this pranamaya kosha works. So once you transcend to the Agna chakra, then the manonmaya kosha kicks in. So this is where if you are able to the kundalini is, if it is rising up to the Agna chakra, right, then your manonmaya koshas and the vijnanamaya koshas gets activated. So you will get a lot of what you call wisdom through it is not it is coming from the astral plane. So actually the ones upper ones what you're seeing, these are all called astral planes which are not physically existing, but we say, right, it came from the universe and all that. So these upper layers are all connected to the upper chakras, what you see here. This third eye chakra and the crown chakra. So the 12th chakra, what you see here, right? So these are all areas which is connected to these chakras. Okay. 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 So before actually entering into the Vastu part, so okay, we'll take a small pause. See, we were talking about Ayurveda also, right? What our Ayurvedic science, or if it is the Chinese acupuncture, what they understood is even the taste what we eat, right? So those are also very strongly connected to the elements and body organs. For example, a bitter taste. So this is ether or the sky element, and this is connected to the heart. For example, air, astringent taste, pungent taste, this is connected to the lungs. Okay? The earth elements, the greener objects are all earth elements, and it is connected to root chakra. Similarly, it is connected to these tastes. So what the wisdom says is the food is also impacting your body. So what I wanted to explain here was, so before, so what are all the factors which the human body the human body gets influenced? Okay, so first is the seasons. So as the seasons change, whether it is winter, summer, rainy, so different seasons, the body will have different uh, response, right? So accordingly, whenever there are planetary transits, so this is called dynamic results in our astrology. So whenever you have heard, right, Jupiter is transiting to Gemini sign. I think yesterday it transited into Gemini. So they say when there are transits, okay, now for this particular Rashi, it is going to be positive. For Virgo sign, in terms of uh, uh, professional, there will be a good improvement. So like that, they give these results. So these are all called dynamic results, and this is applicable to all human being. And it works only of about 20 to 25 to 30% results it gives, because it's more generic, right? There are only 12 Rashis, and we say for this Rashi, this Jupiter transit is giving this result. So you can take about 1/3 or 25% of the results in the dynamic realm. So then astrology has Mahadashas, right? Where Mahadasha, Antardasha, Pratyantardasha. There are 5 levels of dashas. So these are called fixed results, and this is different for different persons. So this comes with your birth chart. So whatever is there in your birth chart, what dashas are running, based on that, these results are given to the human. Okay. Third is the food. This we already saw, right? The tastes. So different tastes give different compositions. For example, if you eat too much of salty or sour food, it will affect your liver. So liver enzymes will alter. So there could be some variation in the solar plexus chakra. So it could create some imbalances. Then even the geography also affects. For example, you are living in a cold country, so their vata diseases will be more. For example, European region, no, if you see there, so they are more prone to vata diseases because those elements are in excess there. So this also affects. Then another thing which is affecting is your circadian rhythm or the daily routine. So we have a rhythm, right? What they say is the human body has to align to the sun cycle. So you wake up when the sun rises, you go to bed after the sun sets. But nowadays in this fast-paced world, so this rhythm is going out of balance. So whenever you are going out of balance, your circadian rhythm gets broken, and people they enter into a stress response cycle. So the cortisol will increase, some stress will be there. They might not be getting proper sleep. There must be restlessness. So a lot of things happen because of these circadian rhythm problems. Then another thing is interaction with the local environment or the people. So when you're interacting with, see, day-to-day interaction also matters, right? When you meet a negative person, so the entire day you will have that negative vibes. You meet a positive person, the entire day you will have a very positive frame of mind. So all this matters. So apart from this, Vastu is also the one which this also affects your human body. So this is the area of interest, what we will be seeing in this course. And let us understand how the Vastu is impacting a human body. Okay. So for this, now we will understand the energy dynamics of the Vastu space. Okay. So now initially we have understood about the human body. Now we'll see how the Vastu space. So I think it was it. In fact, all these images, no, I didn't have time. So I had to copy everything from Google. And that's why I've explicitly mentioned here that image source is Google, because tomorrow somebody should not come and say copyright and all that, right? So now, how exactly the Vastu energy works? So if you see, this is the grid you would have seen in many Vastu. courses, or you would have come across this very common, right? So what they say is the magnetic energy, the Earth's north-south pole, right? It is aligned in this axis, and the magnetic flux flows from the north towards the south. So this is only in the northern hemisphere. But when you see in the southern hemisphere, the other side of the equator, no, where Australia and other countries are there, so there you can find that it is the reverse, like the flux is flowing because continuously, there is a flux flow from north to south and again south to north. That pole is continuously in a loop. So there the flux more will be from the south to north. And if you see the east-west direction, the sun energy or the solar energy is flowing. So it enters through the east and it flows inward. So, and the corners, the northeast axis, so this is where the cosmic energy or the pranic energy, which we say, right? So this flows. So again, prana, right? In the human body, we say there are 10 different types of pranas or the air element. So again, those are all very complex things and out of the scope of this subject. But just to understand that this is so important because just that if the pranic energy in the body is intact, because it is controlled by 10 different the vayus, we call it dasha vayus. A slight imbalance in one of the vayus also will give a lot of health issues and other problems. Okay. So that is why if you see in Vastu, right, generally they say northeast you have more of open areas and towards southwest have more of blocked areas so that the energy which flows in should not flow outward. So that's why we don't suggest any windows towards these sides. So the idea is to trap whatever is flowing in, we have to trap it inside the space. Okay. So if you are taking this analogous to the sun rays from Vibgyor, right? Violet to Vibgyor to infrared. So again, here we have the UV rays. Generally in the morning, we have this UV rays around this zone. And towards the evening, right, we have the infrared in this zone when the sun sets. Okay, so the same pattern repeats here. All these are aligned in each zones. Okay. Though it here we put boxes and say it is not so geometrical, but just for a rough understanding. So this is how the energy dynamics is there inside this space. Okay. So apart from this, see this Vastu Purush, there is a story where there is Samudra Manthan and Vastu Purush came out of it and all that. So the story is there, but the idea is to help us understand how exactly the energy dynamics is aligned with the human body and the Vastu space. So if you see this person, this actually the Vastu Purush is sleeping upside down, like the face is towards the ground. If you see, right, so this is the right hand, this is the left hand. Okay, so the elements, actually the color here is not correct. I took this from the internet, right? So earth element is actually yellow, air element should be green, this water is correct, fire should be red, space is white. This is correct, but there are some mistake. But just understand that most of these areas, no, it's all water element. Then here you have a little bit of air element, then the fire element. So here you have a little bit of earth, space, you have it in the center and also in these areas. Then here you have the air element and a little bit of mixed. We will come to this. We have a very complex grid in which you have more detailed color theme. Okay. Also, these 7 chakras, what you saw, right? So you can see the same chakras here as well. So the root chakra. So the chakras also know the color aligned with the Vibgyor spectrum. So violet, indigo, blue, green, the same spectrum is there. So this is the root chakra, Swadhisthana, then comes the Manipura, Anahata chakra, and Vishuddhi, and so on and so forth. So here the idea is any imbalance in this zone, right? In the Vastu zone, it also reflects in your human body. For example, here there is some Vastu defect. It can manifest in your right hand elbow. So there is some defect here. It can manifest in your ankle joint. So the idea is to show that this is analogous to the human body. Okay. So there is, okay. So now how exactly the energy between the the Vastu space and the human body occurs. So we all know, right, the natures of law. There is always two potential difference, if two systems are in a potential difference, they try to reach equilibrium by flowing from higher potential to lower potential. So this we know. The water try to flows from a height towards the lower potential. Similarly, this is the electric current where it flows from higher to lower potential. So in humans also, though we have not seen it, but we would have experienced it. Like when you speak to a person who is very positive, and after that you go home, the entire day you will be feeling positive because the energy has exchanged. It has flown from the higher to the lower. So you meet a big some guru, some pranic healer, some Reiki healers. The entire day you will be you would have absorbed some of their energies. Okay. Similarly, you meet some full thorough negative person. So he will suck away all your aura energies, and the entire day you will be frustrated. Okay. So this is you can't help it because it's a nature's law. So it will try to strike that equilibrium. So whenever there is a lower potential, it easily flows because that is the easiest path. No, there is no resistance. So now what happens in a space, in the Vastu space? So there is five elements in the house. There is five elements in your body. So whenever there is an imbalance in the five elements of the house, and your mind subconsciously is trying to strike that equilibrium with this space, because you spend more time in your house, right? Maybe 12 hours, at least 8 hours when you sleep, 3 4 hours when you spend. So this subconscious state of mind where it is continuously trying to strike the equilibrium with the space, right? So that is where the imbalance gets created in your body. So when you say maybe some root, the earth element is imbalanced, so your root chakra will get imbalanced here. So root chakra is what, again, it is connected to various things, like it is connected to prosperity, it is connected to stability. Maybe it might give you issues in your job or stability, money flow. So every chakra is connected to many functions. So whenever this happens, right, the imbalance happens, it will manifest in your life, in your body, everywhere. So this is exactly how the Vastu is working. Okay. So apart from this imbalance, again, you saw this image where there are various factors impacting the human body, right? So that's why I can say Vastu will work only for 30% because rest all is getting balanced by other. Okay. So here, when you say there are planetary transit affecting you, Mahadashas affecting you, so this also is altering your chakras, right? Accordingly. So your space also is trying to alter your chakras. So this is a very complex mechanism. So it's very difficult to what you call diagnose. Okay, this problem only would have caused this. But what we can do is generally in Vastu, in modern Vastu, what we advise is you have to match the symptom with the defect. That means if a Vastu person is visiting the house, he sees some defect. Okay, there is some problem here. Maybe southwest some issue. So if there is a problem in the body or in his life, you have to say, okay, this defect is causing this problem. Usually the case is 90% or 80 to 90% of the times that defect will not be affecting him because the transits and the dashas would have overridden this. So only very few instances this actually works, the Vastu imbalances. That's why you see, right, when you see the tall tower buildings where they have 30 floors, from ground floor till the 30th floor, you have the same Vastu. And you go and just analyze all the 30 houses, they will not have the same issue. It will all be different because his dashas are driving the results for him, his transits are driving the results, his food habits, his different interaction levels, his routine. So many things are working on him, right? So this is probably, I would say 20-25% might affect his life or health or whatever. Okay, so this is, I just wanted to set the context because we'll have to understand how exactly it works. So then when we get into Vastu, right, so then it is easy for us to relate, okay, these five elements are imbalanced. So this we will correct. So this correction will happen. So because the course also is structured such a way that it's very systematic. This particular thing what I'm covering, right? This is Mahavastu School of Vastu, where Dr. Kushdeep Bansal. So he has done research for almost 20-25 years on this subject, and he has a vast 10,000 plus case studies. So he has documented everything well, very nicely, and it is also scientific, because nowadays, no, in the current age, so if there is a statistical data, they believe. Otherwise, they say it is pseudoscience, just like how they say for Ayurvedic and other sciences. Okay, so when we actually get into the course, maybe from next week onwards. Before that, I'll try to share the list of contents and all that. So then we will go step by step. So maybe if you guys have the plan of your house, right? So also keep it ready. We can do some live checking also. Like we'll grid the plan and we'll try to find out Vastu defects or any problems you are facing. So we'll try to correlate that. Okay. So for today, this I'm stopping the session. So if you have any questions, maybe we can answer. So I am now open for questions. So if you have anything, we can discuss.
Hello.
Okay, so Nagaraj sir is saying, yeah, you're.
Yes.
See, actually, what happens, no? We cannot categorically say, okay, 25% it is affecting, 30% it is affecting. It is all very subjective. For example, imagine you are running a bad Mahadasha. You are running a bad planetary transit. You have a bad Vastu. Then it becomes 100% impact, because it is working on 3 levels. Okay, imagine you're running a wonderful Mahadasha. You're running a wonderful transit. You have a Vastu defect. Also, your other factors, you are probably a daily gym goer, your health is superb, everything is superb. Maybe it'll affect just 5%. So it is a very complex system and we cannot measure it exactly. So generally, that's why what Mahavastu advises is always try to match the symptom with the Vastu, the grid, whatever Vastu grid we make, right? So we'll have to try to match it. So then we can say, okay, this defect is affecting you. And also the Vastu becomes more complex when there are 4 people. See, there is a family, right? It's not only me or my wife or kids. It could be your parents also. So there could be 5 people, 6 people. So for each person, it is impacting differently based on their dashas. See, when we actually get into the subject, no, I will go much deeper, because each zones also has a planet affiliation. For example, Northeast is ruled by Jupiter. We have Northwest ruled by Moon. So imagine if Moon is very malefic or ill placed in your chart, and your northwest of your house is also impacted. So then you will have more impact, much bad results. So it becomes amplified. Also, similarly, if you are carrying a negative mobile number, the impact is much more, because again, it is adding up, right? Multiple things are adding up. But why we have to see Vastu is just to neutralize the impact which we can get from Vastu. So it is more like a precautionary than. Uh, so when you're building a house, if you align it to the Vastu principles and create it, so you can reduce this impact. It's not so easy to predict. So we only, just like how the medical science says, right? So best solution is to take preventive action. When there is a cold cough, some virus is going around. We have seen this coronavirus also, right? So we were taking precautions. We used to cover the mask when we are going out. So all these preventive measures we were taking. Okay, this we will discuss. Uh,
Later.
Also, for Jyoti, right? See, also the interior designers, what they do is, though they broad level they design it, some defects they also create. For example, in Southeast kitchen, right? So
Hello.
the black granite which we put in Southeast kitchen is a big defect.
10 minutes వస్తాను నీతో.
So most of the black granite which we put in this thing, it causes an imbalance in the fire element. So similarly, in other zones, we put wrong colors and create imbalances. So already the construction builder has created many defects to that. As interior designers, we also try to add some from our end. So it becomes much more worse in the long run. So if you know the right kind of Vastu, so you can also avoid these creating such defects actually. So Amit ji, any questions? Nagaraj sir is. Yes, Nagaraj sir. So 100% Vastu compliant house you can build, yes. But that is a little more complex because you will have to see all those who are staying in the house. You have to see their charts and align all the things accordingly. It is possible to build. So any questions? Okay, so if you don't have questions, then I think we can wrap up. So I'll just stop the recording. Okay, so I'll